Hello, everybody. My name is Caleb, and you're watching Live for Love TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Welcome back to Live for Love TV. Today's the 19th day of the 5th month of the 24th year inside the 21st century. Hope everyone's doing extremely well out there. Well, very historical day yesterday, last night, whatever time it would have been in your part of the world. We had now, after 25 years, an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. The reason I thought I'd talk about it, because for those people who know anything about boxing, I'm not talking about emotional boxing where you say, oh, you just like the old 70s and you like this and you like that and it was great days, and boxers nowadays, and you're not really into boxing. What you're really into is just the hype and the emotion of boxing. What I'm talking about is people who like the pugilist sport of boxing, yeah? And because of that, we don't get undisputed heavyweight champions very often, because they do everything they can when the belts are split to stay in their lane, so to speak, whether it's IBF, WBC, WBA, WBO, stay in their lane and make their little bit of money. And they do that normally because really they're not that good. As far as I'm concerned, they're not on the highest of levels. So they try and stay there and make as much money as they can. Taken 25 years since the last undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, which was Lennox Lewis. Now we have Oleksandra Usyk is now the undisputed heavyweight champion. And I have to give kudos to that man. I mean, that man is an exceptional talent. Now, in heavyweight, people like to see people get bowled over, knocked over with one shot. He doesn't have that shot. So a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, he's not that good, or they don't like to watch him. That's your business. But this guy is an exceptional, as I say again, talent in heavyweight boxing. If you look at his record and what he's been able to do up till now, remember, this man came up from cruiserweight, just like Holyfield did, and he was able to unify, become undisputed, not just unify, become undisputed cruiserweight champion, and then step up and do it again at heavyweight. Now, he's from the Ukraine. We had the two Ukraine brothers, the Klitschko brothers. They were there forever and a day, never unified, never undisputed. All the fighters you can think of, Joshua, Wilder, all the big names, never undisputed, including the man he beat last night, Fury, never undisputed. They found ways of not being able to get it on with somebody else. Whether it was that they didn't want to go in the ring with the other person who had the title, or their promoters didn't want to put them in the ring with the other person who had the title. I don't care what you want to, how you want to round it off, style it out. They made sure they didn't go in. They didn't take the risk. And if you're in boxing long enough as I've been watching it, this happened before Mike Tyson. Before Mike Tyson came on the scene, the belts were split. And we had all these champions, the Weavers, the Dokes, I can't remember the names, but there were so many people grabbing piece of the title and claiming that they were the world heavyweight champions. Funny thing was, when Mike Tyson came, he said there can only be one world champion. There's only one world, can only be one champion. So he hunted down everybody who had a title and he unified it. That's where it became unified again, like it was under the days of Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes. So that was wonderful to us who like the boxing. And this is what Oleksandr Usyk has done. From the minute he came into heavyweight fighting, he accepted that he was going to be the undisputed champion. You can't talk about the Furies. Fury had a belt years and years ago, and other people had those versions of the belt, and he never got to fight on with them when he had the belt. Didn't happen. Anthony Joshua, same thing, didn't happen. Wilder, didn't happen. And it didn't happen for a very good reason. Because they weren't up to the task. They weren't on the level of this man. This man has come up from Olympic champion, European champion, as I said, cruiserweight, undisputed champion, and now heavyweight, undisputed champion. Look at the record. Just look at the record. And the fight he had last night with Tyson Fury, as far as I'm concerned, he's not supposed to win that fight. If you watch the fight, you'll say, well, it was quite a close fight. Close fight, there's only one reason it was a close fight, because the man he was fighting was half a foot taller than him and had a reach almost twice the size of his. That's the reason why that's the only reason. He shouldn't even be in that fight. You're 6'3" and another man is 6'9". That's 6 inches. That's half a foot of difference between you and somebody said, well, it was a close fight. Could you imagine if the two of them were 6'9"? The fight would have been over in less than one round because of the levels of talent that this man has. This man's talent if you look back throughout the record books, and there's not that many undisputed champions. You know, you go back and you'll see there's not that many undisputed champions. In fact, before he became a heavyweight champion, he had to defeat a two-time world champion, heavyweight champion, a two-time world champion, which was what's his name, the British boxer there. Sorry, it's slipping me for a minute. Yeah, he had to defeat him, and he had to defeat him again in the rematch, and now he's come and defeated another guy who was two-time champion, which is Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury had the belt, lost it, and got it back again. So he's beaten two-time world champions to get the undisputed. And even when he wanted to fight Tyson Fury a year ago, or a year and a half ago, Tyson Fury, and he made it so hard for Usyk to get into the ring. He even said to him, you take 30% and I'll take 70%. And what did Usyk say? No problem, I'll fight you. And then he started to clown, and then Tyson Fury started clowning him like, oh, look at this guy, he'll take 30%. Is he stupid? No, he's not stupid. He's a fighter. He's a warrior. If you know you can beat somebody, if they give you even 10%, you become the man in charge. This is how confident he was from back then. When all of us were saying, well, can he beat Tyson Fury? He knew he could beat Tyson Fury. And let's be honest, deep down, Tyson Fury knew he could beat him. That's the reason why Tyson Fury did everything to get away from it. But this sheikh that put the money in the ring and forced this fight to happen, there was no way out for him. He fought a non-boxer, was it an MMA or whatever the guy was, fighter. What was he doing fighting him before he fight Usyk? Why was he fighting a man that he'd fought two or three times before, again, before he fight Usyk, in Chisora and those guys? Why is he fighting these type of people? No challenge to him whatsoever. Should be no challenge to him whatsoever. When a man's sitting there across the road with a title that you want, if you really wanted to be undisputed, he had no interest in being undisputed. He was cornered by the sheikh. The sheikh cornered him. Yeah, he's the one who had him in the corner, ducking and diving, and eventually he had to get in the ring with Oleksandra Usyk. A man I'm not gonna come off that. A man half a foot shorter than you with a tiny reach compared to yours, and weighing 2.25 stones less than you, or 23 pounds less than you. Sorry, not 20. What am I talking about? 22 pounds. 30 pounds. Over 30 pounds he weighed less than you, and you couldn't defeat the man. That shows you the talent of this man, Oleksandra Usyk. And when people talk about the 70s and all these great fighters and all this type of stuff, remember the last man that held the undisputed, and we have to admit he's a great fighter. He only lost 2 fights in professional career, and he avenged both of them. Lennox Lewis. He only had the title for 6 months, undisputed. He refused to fight somebody he was supposed to fight, which is a Ruiz guy. He was supposed to fight him, didn't want to fight him, sidetracked him, and then he lost it. So he only had the undisputed for 6 months, although he won't let you remind you about that. But we know that's the facts. 6 months he had undisputed, and then after that, the undisputed disappeared. And now we have somebody who's got the undisputed, and his record to me is second to none. When you look at what he's been able to do at his size, think about at his size against a man like that. He had a man on the ropes literally holding the man up. Unbelievable performance by Oleksandra Usyk. And for those people who say, oh, well, he's not as good as the people back in there, you don't know anything about boxing. So you can say anything you want. You can't bring facts to say he's not as good as the people before. This man's record speaks for itself. If you know how many amateur fights this man has had and his percentage of wins, this man's record speaks for itself. I think Tyson Fury has only had 35 amateur fights, and he won 31 of those fights. This man's had hundreds of amateur fights. That's why when everybody else will crumble, when he's under pressure, when he's hurt, when he's you don't see anything on his face, just keeps plodding on, keeps going. That's what you do when you've had so many of those fights. You've seen it before, you've done it before. You bite down on your guard and you keep going until the end. This is what he's able to do. In the 9th round, I saw him throwing so many punches. I don't remember any heavyweight in near the end of a fight throwing as many punches. I can't remember it. It's just not something I can actually. I'd have to go back and look and say who throws so many punches at the end of a fight. I don't know. But anyway, kudos to this guy. Respect is due to him. Yes, he's not the most exciting fighter to watch. And if you like the knockouts, the big things like we all do, then obviously you're not going to be able to appreciate him. But if you understand the sweet science, as they say, of movement, boxing and feet work, you'll respect him and realize that this guy is one of the best. Take care. Live for Love TV.
Like, share, subscribe to Live for Love TV.